Shabbat Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Akakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shabbat Shalom, and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Hopeful elect Tabernacle of David. All right, I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you as well. All right, so we're going to start right here in Revelation 11 and 14, which describes World War III. All right, the second woe. Let's go back. Let's go to Revelation 11, Salakia 8. Let's get all three woes. Okay, so this is Revelation 8 and 13. And I beheld and heard an angel fly through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, meaning destruction. And there's three of them. Woe, woe, woe. Okay, these are the three woes, meaning the three world wars. To the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. Right now we come up here to 9, and it shows you World War I. This is the events. This is what John the Revelator did see on the Isle of Patmos, right, describing World War I. Then he says, one woe is past. There it is, okay? And behold, there come two woes more hereafter, letting you know that this is talking about the three world wars, okay? Now, back to 11. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, all right? There is no 4 woes, there's 3. The third world war is about to come. All right, so fast forward to 2 hours ago. What's going on in the South China Sea? Okay, we know about Ukraine and Russia, but what is this? And see what Russia is saying right now? And let's get that. Russia right now is saying what? Russia's saying they're at war with the United States. Russia says we are at hot war with U.S. Let's see where this takes it. Because they said this the other day. Okay. This is a month ago, so they're not showing it yet. Let me see. Give me days. Days ago. Russia said this themselves. We understand now that we're at a hot war with the United States. They're going to show it. Russian invasion. 2 weeks. Okay, so they're not going to say it. Why? I wonder why they don't want that news out. Let's get it over here. Russia says we are at hot war with U.S. Over here. How long ago? 7 days. Russia, U.S. are in hot phase of war. Why is it saying U.S.? Russia and the U.S. are in a hot phase of a war. Let's go into this. That's what Lavrov said. Okay. Russia, U.S. in hot phase of war. Lavrov. This is how many days ago? Okay. April 5th. Okay. Why are they saying that? I thought the war was between Russia and the Ukraine. Okay. So this goes to the World War. Why is Russia saying they are at war with the U.S.? Hot, not Cold War. This means shooting. All right, it means contact. It says Russia and the U.S. are in a hot phase of war because Washington provides armaments to Kiev. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in comments to the Rossiya 1 television channel that were released on Wednesday, we are really in a hot phase of war because Ukrainian Nazis are fighting mostly with U.S. weapons, he said in the comments that were posted to Telegram by journalist Pavel Zarubin. All right, so that pretty much says it all. All right, they understand, the Russians understand who they're fighting. All right, and it's not just the weapons that are over there. They know that NATO is over there fighting. They know that Americans are on the ground fighting. They understand that, right? And they're telling you right here. Okay, so that's one. Russia's fighting who? The Ukrainians? No. They're fighting the U.S. All right? Now, here. This is 2 hours ago on Wyon. Taiwan, which is the U.S., claims China is getting ready to launch a war as Beijing issues serious warning. Is China about to go to war with Taiwan or the U.S.? It's simple. Is Iran about to go to war with Israel or the U.S.? It's simple. Okay? So we're going to watch this. But understand, all right, understand what? Okay? Yes, Russia's fighting against Ukraine. Okay? Yes, Taiwan is fighting against China. Yes, Israel is fighting against everybody in the region in the Middle East. But what does that say? Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. That's what it means. Okay, but whose hand is in the cookie jar of each one of these situations? Well, we know. Babylon the Great. 2 hours ago, recent Chinese and air sea drills simulating encirclement of Taiwan were intended as a serious warning to pro-independence politicians on the self-governing island and their foreign supporters, a Chinese spokesman said on April 12th. What's today? April 12th?
So this, of course, is the cover story on Fine Print tonight. Tensions are running high in the Taiwan Strait. The dragon, as we speak, is breathing fire, and on target is Taipei. Taiwan claims that China has set up a no-fly zone around its territory, citing space activities as the reason for it.
This is a no-fly zone set up by China. The no-fly zone, which is within our air defense identification zone. Everyone can look up this public intelligence information you just mentioned. It's around 85 nautical miles off the north of Taiwan.
The no-fly zone, first proposed for 3 full days, is now being shortened to just 27 minutes on Sunday. Now, Taipei says that China has revised the closure following objections that were raised from Taiwan. But Beijing, meanwhile, has said that it has no clue about what Taiwan is saying.
With regards to your first question, I am unaware of the relevant situation. You can direct your inquiries to the corresponding government department.
While on the one hand, the Chinese officials claim that they see no reason for any objections to be raised, the Japanese cabinet secretary has said that Tokyo was earlier informed of a closure by the Chinese authorities. The no-fly zone setup comes at a very crucial time. China, remember, has just ended its military drills around Taiwan. It was in response to the US House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's visit to the self-ruled island. Beijing now says that the drills were a serious warning to the pro-independence leaders in Taiwan as well as their allies.
At present, the separatist forces for Taiwan independence are constantly plotting independence and provoking, and external forces are intensifying their endeavor of containing China with Taiwan as a tool. These are seriously damaging the fundamental interests of the Chinese nation and the vital interests of Taiwanese compatriots, seriously endangering peace and stability in the Taiwanese Strait, and seriously damaging the prospect of peaceful reunification.
Slovakia. Damn commercials, you know. Hey, we're almost out of here.
Although China has said that these exercises are now over, it has kept up military pressure against Taiwan in the past few days and has signaled that it will do more. In the wake of Beijing's recent actions, Taiwan has also raised an alarm.
Okay, now we all know that they made a little movie, if you will, a little animated attack plan, right? China, on how they intend to invade or to attack Taiwan. I think they're going to show it.
Now, speaking to an American broadcaster, the Taiwanese Foreign Minister Joseph Wu in fact claimed that China could be getting ready to launch a war against Taiwan.
A war?
The Chinese President Xi Jinping, meanwhile, has called on the army, that is the Chinese People's Liberation Army, to strengthen its military training oriented towards actual combat. Xi Jinping made these comments during a naval inspection, where he told the PLA's Southern Theater Command Navy that the forces must resolutely defend China's territorial sovereignty and maritime interests, and must strive to protect the overall peripheral stability. Last week, the CCP mouthpiece, Global Times, interestingly, had put out this.
Did he say pedophile? The what? They should protect the what?
The forces must resolutely defend China's territorial sovereignty and maritime interests, and must strive to protect the overall peripheral stability.
What?
Last week, the CCP mouthpiece, Global Times, interestingly, had put out this animated video of how Beijing can strike Taiwan. This is the video that the Global Times put out. The 10-second animation shows the trajectory of the missiles launched on Taiwan from China, as well as its warships deployed in the sea. This is a pretty ominous sign of things to come. Now, China has for long claimed the self-ruled island as its own territory as a part of its One China policy. Beijing maintains that it will not shy away from using force if need be, if it has to achieve its goals. And also to give us more insights in terms of what this no-fly zone by Beijing, of course, means, we're being joined by Lev Nachman, who's a political science professor at National Chengchi University in Taiwan, is joining us live on this broadcast. Now, Professor Nachman, thank you very much indeed for joining us here. And the question that I want to ask you is this. What is China planning to do with its no-fly zone? It says that this no-fly zone is meant for some space activities that it intends to carry out.
Okay, before we go into this, I do want to hear them out and see what they have to say. But let's get a quick precept. COVET. They covet what? Fields. What is this devil doing? What is he doing to China's property, if you will? Micah 2 and 2. They, these Edomites, shall we go back? Let's see. Let's get it at the top. Woe to them. See, woe to the oppressors. Who's oppressing who over there? Why are you over in China trying to claim that island right off of China's mainland doesn't belong to them? That's like saying that Hawaii somehow belongs to anybody but you. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. That evil. And they, who? Them evil. Woe to them, right? They covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. This is what they're doing, clearly. Let's read it here. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. Well, China's saying, no, that's clearly ours. Like Guantanamo, right? When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance. Taiwan doesn't belong to China. According to China, hey, that's my family's inheritance. All right? So, I mean, it's pretty simple. All right, keep going.
But is Taipei willing to accept this, explanation by the Chinese for a no-fly zone of this kind?
Thank you for having me.
And this devil is going to try to explain it away, right? He's going to explain it away. Clearly, Taiwan has been captured by the devil, right? Oh well, no, that's not China. They're sovereign. No, they're not. That's he say, she say, or I'm white and I say so. Okay.
What was originally stated to be a multiple day long drill turned into be something that only required 27 minutes of no-fly zone time. So I think the initial dire reports of just how incredulous this drill is going to be is actually far more minor and perhaps not nearly as serious as initially thought. Even though this type of drill is by no means welcome from Taipei's perspective, it's important to keep in mind that the PRC, although they have been building up their capabilities are not the same thing as intent. And even though the PRC is trying to have the capacity to launch some sort of attack against Taiwan, it does not mean that they are necessarily going to do so in the short.
No, they're not going to. They're just showing you exactly what they have in mind right here. Unless this is some propaganda set up by the devil himself, which could very well be.
Absolutely, indeed. And also, how concerned is Taipei, with this animation that was put out by Global Times, which indicated as to what China intends to do, launching missiles which are clearly aimed at Taiwan.
How is he going to answer this? Okay. Is it propaganda made by the devil? Or is it China's intent on what they intend to do?
That's mostly fear-mongering from the PRC, because it's important to keep in mind that kind of...
Why would they fear-monger? That don't make no sense. Right? What would make sense is that's propaganda by the U.S. They created that and blamed it on China. Why would China make that to fearmonger? What, they're afraid to take their land back? I don't think so.
From the PRC, because it's important to keep in mind that kind of scenario is highly unlikely. Because what the PRC hopes to do is to unify and essentially annex Taiwan into the PRC. And if it bombs the entire island, then it's going to not really win over the love and support of everyone who lives here. There's far more possible scenarios that the PRC would take before it goes to some sort of doomsday scenario like the one that they used in their graphic that they shared. For example, a blockade would be far more likely before we see any sort of actual dire sort of bombing like they portrayed. That really is much more to do with trying to make Taiwanese people feel fear and panic, which they do.
Which is part of warfare. Okay. So I'm sure they don't want to destroy the infrastructure, but if they have to, right? What if Taiwan starts firing back? First of all, are there not U.S. bases in Taiwan ready to as jumping off points? What do you mean they're not going to bomb it? That don't make sense. Come on, devil. Get your logic straight. Of course, they don't want to destroy it, but if they have to, because of those bases or whatever weapon systems that they happen to have there, what the hell do you think they're going to do? Okay, that's like saying that the United States wouldn't have bombed the hell out of Cuba if Russia kept threatening. I don't think they ever took the weapons out of there, but the threats sure did go away, didn't they?
Here, I've been here, throughout these drills, and I was here in August when Nancy Pelosi came to Taiwan. And the domestic response here has always been a very calm and collected response from civil society. People here are not afraid of the PRC threats.
All right, very interesting. And also, it's very interesting that you say that this is essentially just propaganda, the kind of animation video, that has created a lot of ripples around the world of the Chinese launching those missiles. You say that China wants to take Taiwan, but
that was the same thing that they were saying in the Ukraine. Well, Vladimir Putin, he's not going to invade Ukraine. He's not going to invade the Ukraine. Even when he moved all of his weaponry on the border, then he withdrew a little. Oh, he knows better than to invade the Ukraine. Where are we at now? Right.
not want to destroy Taiwan, and therefore it would not resort to a scenario where it would be launching those missiles. The fact is, Beijing and the Xi Jinping has repeatedly said that it intends to reunify with Taiwan, even with force if needed.
And what's going on is this: let the weak say I am strong. Nobody is afraid of the big bad wolf anymore. The paper tiger. Babylon the Great. You're a paper tiger at this point. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So things are changing. This guy, guess what? You have been exposed, devil. First of all, on its face, you don't belong over there. Where's the Taiwanese person? Why is the devil speaking on behalf of Taiwan? That don't make no damn sense.
With force is essentially a war that Beijing is talking and threatening Taiwan with. But you say that is something that China does not want to do. It wants to take Taiwan, but it does not want to destroy Taiwan and then take it.
Come on, devil. You're double speak. You're speaking out of both sides of your forked tongue right now. And this guy bringing the hard question. Let's see how this devil and the Grinch thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Come on, devil.
Correct. That kind of scenario is a very last case scenario. And even though it is most certainly a possibility, I don't want it to seem like there is no possibility of some awful war breaking out.
You're walking it back now. Now you're walking it back, devil. See how the devil does? Yeah. No, that could happen. Yeah, it could happen. And then nobody's afraid of you anymore. Okay? That ain't the old school China. And who's China's ally? Russia, the same one that claims that they're in a hot war with you right now. So if they split this, if NATO decides to go into Crimea and that thing goes hot over there, what the hell do you think China's going to do at that moment? They done split you down the middle. Then what? Okay? And then that's when BB goes in and flexes his muscle, and then Iran does what you can't see. Well, what is about to happen here?
Right. It is a real possibility, but it's important to keep in mind that there is a spectrum of options and policy choices that the PRC can take before it actually has to resort to that level of dire.
Mr. Nachman, I just want to interject here. With what you're suggesting, do you think that China wants to bring about some kind of a coup in Taipei for reunification rather than a military conflict? Is that the suggestion that you're making?
No, what they're hoping to do is to win over the hearts and minds of people in Taiwan to vote for some sort of pro-China party like the KMT in order to enable a domestic sort of mutual rapprochement between Taiwan and the PRC. Right. There's lots of other different options that they have to try to push a unification agenda domestically that does not require any sort of violence or action on behalf of any sort of military.
It's beyond that. We're way beyond that at this point. Okay. Come on.
Right, very interesting there. Thank you very much indeed, Professor.
Now, okay, what's going on all over the world? People are moving, they're choosing sides, right? And they're moving their equipment into place everywhere. All right, so let's get one and we'll close out. This is Joel 3 and 10. What does it say here? We'll read it right here in the Berean Study Bible. Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Okay? China wasn't always the China that we see today. Okay? And look at their allies right now. Okay, together they are strong, right? Let the weak say, I am strong. Guess who's strong now? Kim Jong-il. He's part of that alliance. Kim is flexing his muscles. Okay? Iran, flexing their muscles. Oh, it's on and cracking in the Middle East. The weak is now saying, I'm strong. Okay? Stronger than the so-called last superpower. They're flexing up. Right? That's what this is. He's trying to explain this away. Where is it? He's trying to explain this. Oh, that's just a little animation. Don't worry about that. That's just a little propaganda. No, it's not. That's a direct threat. That's not propaganda. That's a direct threat. And then he turned around and tried to take it all back. Oh, I didn't say that it might not, that it won't happen. You think? All right. They will bomb the shit. I'm gonna give you a week to get off of that island before we bombard it. All right. So that's the update for today. Hey, what does it spell? Okay. Hey, these things are growing. They're not. Oh well, they want to stage a coup. They don't want to stage no damn coup. All right. Come quickly. Let's carry on. This is Joel 3 and 11. Come quickly, all you surrounding nations, and gather yourselves. Bring down your mighty ones, O Lord. That's a different part of World War III. That's when the angels get involved. Let the nations be roused and advance to the valley of Jehoshaphat. So this is the last battle, Battle of Armageddon. Okay? But World War III, as we can see, let all the men prepare war. Let's go back to 9. Proclaim this among the nations, prepare for war. Isn't that what we see? Rouse the mighty men, let all the men of war advance for the attack. We don't see that? Of course we do. We're watching prophecy jump off the pages of the Bible right now. So we'll end it right there. The time is growing short and the battle's about to start. We got some prophecies that happen right before World War III breaks out in earnest, right? The CBDC, the C-HIP, right? The missiles, the chariots, and we're out. All right, so hold on, Akim, Akwath. We hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and few sisters. With that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.